Let's stay out to the west, though. Governor Gavin Newsom has expanded the state of emergency in the Golden State because of scenes like this in Livermore, which is in the Bay Area. Fox Weather's Max Gorden joins us live from Santa Cruz County now as the cleanup continues. Luckily, Max, we've seen quite a bit of improvements in terms of the current weather, the current conditions. But again, the previous weather over the last several days still brings long-lived impacts.
Yeah, lots of impacts all across central and northern California. Luckily, we are seeing some blue skies, some sunshine peeking through, a welcome sight for folks here in Santa Cruz and in Monterey counties. The governor was actually here on the ground surveying some of the damage just a little while ago. He was walking around the levee system along the Pajaro River. The levee on the Pajaro failed actually and flooded that community there, the community of Pajaro. Now, right now we're standing along Highway 1, which is still closed right now because of all the extensive rain, the high water on the Pajaro River. It was undermining some of the area underneath a bridge right behind me. But we just got word from Caltrans. Officials will be reopening the southbound lanes later on tonight of Highway 1, and then they'll be reopening the northbound lanes of Highway 1 tomorrow morning. Still no exact timing on that, but some good news for folks here who have had to take long detours to try to avoid this section of Highway 1. Now, we mentioned the Pajaro River and just the immense damage that it dealt after a levee failed there along the river. Around 2,000 people had to be evacuated, homes, businesses flooded out. There's some good news there along the Pajaro as well. Workers have been able to plug the hole in the levee, about a 400-foot-long section that was spilling water into the community. Workers were able to plug this breach with boulders, rocks. Still, more work will likely be required to shore up that levee. Now, as the rains from this latest atmospheric river event began to subside yesterday, they were replaced by really strong winds. The soggy soil combined with the gusty conditions sent trees toppling across the area. In Loma Prieta, a gust registered at 97 miles per hour. And here in Santa Cruz County, trees fell into houses and into an assisted care facility. Hundreds of thousands of people had their power knocked out. Another twist in a wild winter for folks here in northern and central California.
We actually left when the logs started hitting the bridge, and living right there, you could hear and feel the bridge vibrate. I've moved to California in '89 from upstate New York, and this has been the coldest and most dangerous, I think.
Heavy rain was also reported in California's foothills in the eastern parts of the state. In Placer County, a mudslide crashed into a home and forced evacuations. Now back here along Highway 1, the highway is still closed, but again, southbound lanes will be reopening later tonight. Northbound lanes set to reopen by tomorrow morning. Caltrans warning drivers that there will likely be traffic backups as they reopen the highway, and work is going to continue near the bridge as they shore up the levee there. But some really good news, though, for drivers here in Monterey and in Santa Cruz counties. Back to you.
Right, Max. Has Caltrans indicated any good detours around the area? Of course, even with the detours, there still is the risk for impacts because the impacts have been widespread, not only the major highways, but also the side roads.
Yeah, and we've been going on some of those detours as we've navigated our way around the area. 101 is another pretty major thoroughfare here in this area that's being utilized. Some side roads are being used to get out there, especially when you're going south from Santa Cruz down to Monterey or north from Monterey up to Santa Cruz. But yeah, this is going to be really good news for folks in this area, the reopening of Highway 1, because it has caused a lot of traffic snarls along two-lane roads that aren't really used to accommodating this much traffic.
Right, Max. California traffic is difficult even when all the roads are open, let alone some major closures as well as cancellations out there. Max Gorden, thanks so much for the report.
I'm Amy Freeze. Welcome to Fox Weather's YouTube page. We have more great videos on the way, so make sure to subscribe to stay updated on all things weather.